Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. Well, President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi gave his directives to develop the technology sector in line with the Sustainable Development Strategy, Egypt's Vision 2030. Today, we are going to discuss the new technologies in higher education system and in the universities. And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host today Dr. El-Sakka, Professor of IT and Human Development Expert. Welcome, Dr. El-Sakka.
Thank you very much for having me for this very nice, interesting, promising subject. Yes, I hope that we are going to enjoy discussing that matter.
It's my pleasure, sir, to host you
today. The
pleasure
is mine. Thank you.
First, we are going to watch a report, ladies and gentlemen, a report about Egypt's and most the world countries are promoting higher education's adoption of new technologies, and the details in the following report.
Colleges and universities have generally been quick to adopt new technologies, often even before their educational value has been proven. Throughout its history, higher education has experimented with technological advances as diverse as the blackboard and the personal computer. Some technologies have become permanent parts of the higher education enterprise. Throughout its history, higher education has experimented with technological advances. Some technologies have become permanent parts of the higher education enterprise. Others, such as the slide rule and the 16mm movie projector, have been replaced as more sophisticated or more cost-effective technologies have emerged to take their place. World countries are promoting higher education's adoption of new technologies. The rapid advance of globalization that is lowering international barriers and transforming the business world is also expanding the potential reach of colleges and universities. In addition, competition among higher education institutions contributes to technology's advance within colleges and universities.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was a report on applying technology, new technology in the higher education and universities in Egypt. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host today Dr. El-Sakka, the Professor of IT, Information Technology and Human Development Expert. Welcome, Dr. El-Sakka.
Thank you again, once again. Yes.
Yes. Now, when did the idea of applying the new technology in universities start? And let me say here that President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi is very keen and gave his directives to develop the technology sector in line with the Sustainable Development Strategy, Egypt's Vision 2030. How do you see the President's keenness on this?
Okay. Thank you for giving me this chance. Please, if you just let me talk about to define the technology, just to agree upon.
Yes, please.
Actually, there is a great difference between technology and science. Here, technology, it's a practical applications using scientific knowledge for certain purpose. So we have three keywords here. That we have here applications, which is practical.
Yes.
We have here science or scientific knowledge, and we are going to end up with certain purpose. In other words, technology is serving the comfortable or the comfort, the easiness, the facilitating for human being. So if we are going to define it in this way, and this is that most of us, we agree about this definition, we'll find that here the purpose, we can dream of different purposes, either for education, for pipelines, for taps, for TVs, whatever. I'm not going to name everything. And then we are going to use the scientific knowledge. When we mention scientific knowledge, we have to stop for a while about the word science. Science always answers 2 points, why and how. Why this phenomena, why this occur, and how it does, both of them. But here, for technology, how to use that kind of scientific knowledge and science and apply it to serve us, to facilitate this for us. Coming back now for higher education or for education, generally speaking, and for the keenness or how the interest of our president for that, and he has a vision. I would consider him a visionary
Of course, he's not keen on applying technology only on higher education, but because this is the topic of our. But in everything,
yes,
also the digital government.
Yes, I do agree with you, and even I was sitting here for discussing.
So digitalizing Egypt.
Yes, that's why they call it digital transformation. We'll come back to this one and to see how the relationship between digital transformation and education. I mean technology in education or higher education. The point here, we have to imagine. I mean, I start with imagine because actually the innovation, the creativity starts with imagination and understanding the different concepts that you are using it. Here, thanks Allah that you are on the right track. Lately we are. I mean, this is for the last 4 years that our leadership, our leader mainly, they are interested in and they're taking care of that. And for the first time, we are seeing how far we are supported in this direction. And let me tell you something. When they say, how about technology? The absence of technology, it's death, technical death. We used to say, if there is no advanced or leading technologies, we may be just a little bit latent or delayed or behind. But now we can guarantee that without leading technology, coping with what's going around us, we are going to write our technical death certificate as we consider it. Yes. Here for the higher education, it have a lot of things that we could apply. I mean, we have been for over 100 years using the same technology. I mean, just sitting, chair, table, and the whiteboard or blackboard, and they are using this in a very classical stereotype way. Yes, traditional way. And then they came to the projectors and PowerPoint and so on. Now everything is going to be changed, and we are using different technologies in this area which will serve and help and make the life easier. Because if you would like to look at the student, what does he want? He wants to be convinced with the instructor, the teacher, the lecturer, number one, and he would like to give him the freedom of choice. And I will come back to this point when we are talking how we are going to prepare our generation, our youth for the future, for the market. Yes, let us talk about this later on. Yes, there is many. We have heard about fifth generation. We heard about digital transformation. We are hearing about, and I'd like to shed the light, if you allow me after. Yes. Yes, about AR, augmented reality. When we talk about VR, virtual reality, hologram, big data, and then we are talking about cloud computing. We are talking a lot of things that we are talking. Every one of these we are going to use in the higher education. Yes. If we start with, for example, with virtual reality, here this will make the life easier and artificial intelligence for the students to gain and to participate and to have what we call it participative adaptive learning or education. They will choose what they like, whether they will find themselves, it copes with their interests. And the point is now we don't talk about as before, and that is all the teaching and education has been changing. We used to have that the doctor or the professor or instructor, whoever, just to give the knowledge in one direction, and the other one he has to receive. No, now we are talking about participative and at the same time adaptive. I mean, it has to suit every student in the class, and the class, of course, is going to be changed. Yes. So how are we going to benefit from applying the new technology in Egyptian universities? Let me start by for example, the colleges, the practical and the theoretical colleges of faculties. Yes.
For example, the Faculty of Medicine, how are we going to benefit from the new technology? Are we going to use it in anatomy?
Yes,
In
yes.
making surgeries?
Yes, definitely.
How about the
definitely, yes.
engineering faculty?
Yes.
Can we use it in designs, for example?
Yes, that's great. It's very decent and good point.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
yes, really. Here we have sometimes we say no, it won't be applied, but only for practical universities and colleges. No,
Yes.
actually, it will be applied for both of them, either theoretical, like whatever, all these type of colleges, and practical like engineering, medicine, and so on. Let us concentrate upon or give some examples about, for example, for medical applications, as we agreed upon in the beginning of this episode. Yes. We said that here technology, it's for certain purpose. Anatomy, for example, we are using 3D. We have 3D printing, we have 3D, virtual reality. So the student will see all the different parts of the human being in front of him without using, for example, a real one. This is a kind of simulation.
Yes.
Which is used. On the other side, now we have artificial intelligence, we have robotics, and we are looking forward and we are expecting this not, it's very near, future, maybe this year, the end of this year, combined with fifth generation, because fifth generation will give us a very small latency or delay. What stops us of using remote surgery from different parts, because here we need a very responsive. For the time being, for example, the delay or the latency, it is 60 milliseconds. We will say, oh, what the hell, this is a very short and small latency or delay time, but 0.06 of second. But we are expecting with fifth generation, which we are about to use it, and by the way, we are coping with all that kind of technology. Yes. This will go to 1 over 60s. So instead of having 60 milliseconds, we are going to talk about 1 millisecond. Robots will be used, actually. Why don't we use it right now? Because there's some danger, some risk if you are using it. But at least for teaching, for learning, it covers, for the time being, it covers here anatomy, it covers different things. They use different, like virtual, augmented reality, 3D printing, all that kind of things. It's used, and you can get all that kind of box and of the anatomy box in front of you. It is, as if you can touch it,
So technology is shaping our
it's,
life
it's reshaping, yes, our way of teaching. This is the benefits of that. Yes. On the other side, for theoretical, it will be used in different way. For example, instead of we are going to have that kind of old box, we don't need it. We have this electronic way of accessing what we would like to have, fingertips, with some fingertips, yes, as we are using Google, for example, for the time being. And they are advancing with that kind of things. They are applying virtual reality as well.
So we are going to receive knowledge with a fingertip through technology.
Yes, this is the point. And you are going to use it anyway, anywhere, anytime, the way you like. For example, some of the students, they even for math, for example, for algebra, if we were giving example, he'd like to study this at 6 a.m. in the morning. How would it be in the class? When he opens his eyes, he will start working with it. Yes. The way he is sitting, would like to make him comfortable, feel at home, as we say. So he can do that with his smartphone, tablet, computer, laptop, whatever, wherever he wants to. And that's one of the main attracting points which is used for effectiveness of education. Just to let the student, even if he's young, that he has to feel that he is welcoming, he is motivated, he feels free. Not like the old or the stereotype traditional way that you are sitting on a chair all the time, and you have to feel as if that we are torturing them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So, what is the role of the state in coordinating with the higher education ministry to boost the applying the new technology in universities?
Yes. Here to post that kind of thing, I think that here our higher ministry, I followed many, talks with them. They are aware, the ministry and all our government, they are aware what's going around. And the point, and even I heard something when they were saying the ideas are great, we know that kind of ideas, but the point how to do it, the methodology,
Yes.
the mechanism to apply that. I would recommend here in this case that we are going to stick or to apply the technologies, the new technology, not applying only the new things like which I mentioned, for example, three-dimension printing, that's for design, for anatomy. We're talking about virtual reality, augmented reality, hologram, computing, cloud computing, biometric. For example, biometric. We used to have our ID if we would like to go to library and to have some books or to read, and no, we don't need that right now. They are going to use our fingerprint or our iris, and then everything will be recorded. How many hours we spend, where, what is our attitudes, what we read, what are we interested in, and then the computer systems or the artificial intelligence is going to adapt according to everyone. Yes. And that's here the effectiveness is going to be great. If we look at the technology, we have to look at where we are heading. I don't mean only Egypt, all the world. Here there is a lot of jobs that will be vanishing or maybe will be minimized. For example, if I would like to talk about banking, who's sitting behind the desk, or for insurance, this kind of things with automation and artificial intelligence, the machines or whatever may be, it will be able here to take a decision instead of us. That's why we expect that we need less people working. This is about the bad side of it, that people they say, okay, so you are going to do without us. No, it's not. But the good thing here will be having the time and having the chance to think innovatively, creatively. There is hundreds of thousands of problems that it need to be solved. So we'll save your time for traditional efforts that the machine is going to do it, but you will have to have the creativity and the creative things. Yes. This is the main point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dr. Sakka, do you think that we should start with the pupil at school before they go to the university stage? We start with technology, training them to use technology, like what happened at the first secondary when they applied the tablets.
Tablets, for example.
So for the pupils to get used to.
Yes, I do believe in that.
Before they go to the university.
We have to start with them even before, elementary or not only this. Even primary schools, younger. Here, what will happen? Nowadays, the children, our kids, they are aware of that. And you find, maybe I was looking for something few months, which I'm not talking about the hazards about this one, but they give him iPad or whatever or tablet, and he's playing with it, and very quickly he will be able to. The benefit of starting with, even from the first, with the first stage of education, that we'll have to apply education, apply technology in education. So when they grow up and go to university, this will be a habit. Easier for them. Yes. We are going to form the habit for them to be able to use technology in an advanced way. It won't be, weird or strange for them. And one of the main points that we are looking for, as I started talking, and you mentioned this one, that the knowledge, it will be at our fingertips, and you can see this point. And here we are going to get it easier and easier. But what we are looking for in education here, we would like to see how people will be able to apply the knowledge, apply the information, this kind of information. It's not a matter of how far you are grasping and you know that kind of information. And that's what we are looking for. And that's why we are changing the way of teaching and education. Not only here, all the world is looking for that, because we used to have that education is from one side to the others. We are sending knowledge, information for them, and they are receiving. Now it's not, if you would like to have any kind of information or knowledge, as I said before, with fingertips, and there is some other innovations that you will have a chip under your skin, and there is some experiments that you will have all that kind of information that will transfer all that great big data to you. They are working on this, but the point here, how to use it, how to apply to the benefit and the value of the human being and for humans. This is what we are looking for. It doesn't come, this one, by just information knowledge. It comes with transferring experience to train them to be skillful, how the skill they are doing. So you'll have to practice that kind of things, and we show them the proper attitude and behavior. If we are going to raise our children, students, so they will be ready to communicate and for the market, labor, or for labor later on.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Dr. El-Sakka, with applying technology in universities, in higher education in universities, would allow or would result in the graduation of a generation qualified to meet the needs of the labor market?
Oh, yes, definitely. Nowadays, there is studies about this. I mean, they want to reach this conclusion. So what they did, they started with landlord, let's say here, the owners, business people, and with the government and with the education itself. And they ended up what we call it 4 C's and modified to what we call it 6 C's. C is starting for each word. For the first one, critical thinking. Number 2, communication. Number 3, collaboration.
Yes.
Number 4, creativity, and they added this with 2 is choice, or the freedom of choice, and caring. If we look at all these 6 C's, that's what we need to prepare our people or our students beside the technology,
yes,
how to communicate with each other, because there's some disadvantage if you are using technology, exaggerating for using this, will have what we call a disconnect use.
Yeah.
We are not going, they will fail, they won't be able to deal with others face to face, to communicate with each other, but they will be able to do this online only. There's a lot of things which appeared with using or exaggerating with the use of technology. And here, definitely, if we are going to prepare our students, our generation for this, they will be ready and will be more effective and efficient, and it will be added value for our economic and our future and prosperity.
Yes. Dr. El-Sakka, what is the role model that we should benefit from its experience, like the experience of Germany in using technology in universities? And this is the example in which Minister Khaled Abdel Fattah has raised concerning Germany.
Yes, actually, we are following this role model of that kind of thing for Germany. This is for the technical, this is for the technical education.
Yes.
Because they are, they have done a good thing. In Singapore, this is a quite good role model for educating, or here for teaching, and it's #1 right now.
Yes.
And when we are talking about this one, the first one for technical, we have here a kind of barrier, psychological barrier.
Yes.
When we hear that he is technician, We are looking for him in a submissive way, that he is not as good as such. And they are thinking right now to have a university of technical colleges that just to have that barrier, to overcome that kind of barriers. This is for the technical part. For the other one, how to have to motivate the students starting from early ages and let them love, and they want to go to school. It's not, we are not imposing, we are not pushing them to do, by letting them feel free, like what they are doing. You know what they do? When the kids, they go, they let them take off their shoes, for example. They may wear, this is, very cozy, very comfortable clothes, as if they are sitting in their home. They don't tell them, no, you have to sit in this way or that way. They ask them, they don't even make some tests or exams for the early, for the early stage. They let him behave the way he wants. They never give him homework to come back to his parents. So they live as if they are going to have fun.
Yes.
They are relating here fun with education, and using, of course, technology to let them have fun.
Yes.
That's the model that we would like to use for youngsters. And the other one, we have to take care and to concentrate and push for the technical higher education or higher technical education.
Yes, Dr. El-Sakka, at the start of your statements in our interview, you've mentioned several kinds and types of technology. But in the coming future, what is the most important technology that we are going to use?
Yes. The most important technology, which actually is an umbrella for many different technologies, is what we call it digital transformation, which is adopted by our state right now and our leader. Digital transformation, let me shed the light on this, because people, they mix it up with what we call it digital technology. There is difference between digital technology and digital transformation. Digital technology, it means that we are using computers and digitizing and all that kind of things for a specific application. But when talk about digital transformation, it means here a new way, innovative, creative
like digitalizing the government. After
exactly.
It's going to be transferred to the administrative capital.
Yes, that's a very good example. Thank you for highlighting, for shedding the light upon this. We hear, all of us, what we call it here, in cities, smart cities. Smart city, let me give some example to make
or
it...
integrated cities.
Yes, like here, the administrative, new capital administrative city. Alamein as well, it's a smart city, and we are working on this one. What does it mean? It means that everything is smart. That here, that what we call it IoT, Internet of Things. Internet of Things, it means that the machine, the things. Thing, it means here anything. It means even the human being himself, and maybe aircraft, maybe car, maybe whatever it's called thing. And how they are going to interact with each other. In a very simple way, they will have sensor. That kind of sensor is going to measure, and according to the criteria that we are applying, it will tell us no, stop, go, right, and that's why, and we are expecting for near future that we have driverless cars, that it works, it knows there is no accident, they know where to go. If you would like to highlight, for example, that you would like to park, you may find here, you are going around a place to find available parking. But if you are going to use that kind of smart, I just want to give a very simple example, that we put some sensor for each place of each car, and this sends a signal for something. All this automatic, no human being interference, and then it will tell you where we can sit. There is a lot of things we may talk about it in another chance.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, our time is up. I thank you very much, Dr. Syed El-Sakka, the professor of IET and a human development expert. Thank you very much for your valuable information. I had the pleasure to host you today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure and honor. I hope that we will meet again very soon, inshallah.
I hope
Thanks
so.
a lot.
Thank you
very
much.
much. Thank you.
Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, Cairo Local Time. I'm Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.